William Wilberforce, not a name that is a household name in America, but of course he was British, born and lived his life in England. William Wilberforce was a remarkable man. He was a man that had a few outstanding gifts, and one of those was his ability to speak. But you say, he was a great man. Well, he was. He was a giant of a man. 4'11", he was hunchbacked, and his head was always down and turned slightly sideways. That was William Wilberforce, who changed the world. One day, when he was running for Parliament, he couldn't see the people couldn't see him. Somebody set him up on a table. And a reporter watching it said, they put a shrimp up on the table. But I listened to him. And as I watched and listened, he turned into a whale, a giant of a man. He was blessed. His father left him a fortune. His grandfather left him a fortune. His uncle left him another one. He was one of the most wealthy people in England. He hobnobbed in his younger years with all of the greats. He went to see John Newton because there was something that he was really concerned about, and that was slavery. And he thought Newton ought to know something about it since he had been a slave trader in his unconverted days. And he said, do not leave your position in Parliament. You would be deserting the calling that God has called you to. And so he decided to stay. And he decided also that he would find the greatest cause that he knew about, and he would give his life to that cause. And the cause he chose was the end of slavery in Great Britain. But there was hardly any part of English business that wasn't wrapped around slavery in some way or another. So what did he do? He decided he'd give a talk. He spent 2 years studying to give that talk. He finally stood up in Parliament and spoke, and he was by this time probably the greatest speaker in Parliament. He spoke for 4.5 hours. He made his motion to end the slave trade in Great Britain. The motion was defeated, roundly defeated. Well, he did not give up. Came back the next year, gave another speech, another motion, defeated. Next year, defeated. The next year, defeated. He gave up the next year, came back the following year, and gave another speech, and another, 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 and another. Finally, the vote was positive, and the British slave trade ended. But that was only half of his goal. It was to end slavery in all of the British colonies. So he set himself to that. Again, 25 more years. Now he is an elderly man. There are still hundreds of thousands of slaves in British ownings. But he continued to pray and to work. As he grew older and older, he continued to persist. Every year a speech, every year another vote, every year defeat. Finally, he was unable to continue for health reasons. He retired to his home in London, and in that session they had a great discussion of the subject. A motion was made to end slavery in all of the colonies of Great Britain around the world. The motion passed. There was a great outcry of joy among all of those that had worked with him for so long to end that, and they sent a runner to his home to tell him before he died that at last his great cause had been won. The victory came, and of course he rejoiced in the Lord that this had happened, and in a lifetime of effort had succeeded. May I point out to you this: Great Britain ended slavery without a civil war. And at Westminster Abbey, these are the words that are carved into the marble where he has been laid. In an age and country fertile with great and good men, he was among the foremost of those who fixed the character of their times, because to high and various talents, to warm benevolence and universal candor, he added the abiding eloquence of a Christian life. What difference does Christianity make? The eloquence of his Christian life was credited with changing England.